Can you hear us now?
Steve, could you hear us now?
Hold on 1 second.
Put it on the chat.
Yeah.
Put it on the chat, and then
Oh,
he'll
actually,
respond better to
I'm
it.
gonna check on my phone. Hold on 1 second.
Oh yeah, Caesar, put the volume up on your phone. On the testing. Press play. Test. Yep. Yeah,
There's
it's
audio.
working. Where's audio?
Okay.
Hakeem, talk.
All right. Yeah, we're good. Okay. Perfect.
Wait, what?
Says Steve says you guys are good.
All right. So 3, 2, 1. Yo, we're doing it live.
It's live, bro.
We're doing it live.
Friday night, dog. Friday night live.
Oh
Friday Night Live,
Yo,
dog.
somebody got a bottle.
Yeah, pass the honey over here in a little bit.
Wow.
But yo,
Don't say that. They
welcome
will
to
pass you, honey.
the honey will be passed. By the end of the episode, let's attend the people. Let's attend the news here, my gentlemen. Welcome to La Ventanita C.F. Welcome to a very special episode. Thank you guys for joining us live. It's gonna be a fun time. Like I was saying earlier, we got a very special guest today. We got Caesar, who's a pillar of this fan base. I couldn't describe him in any other way. This guy's been around since the beginning. He's gonna be around to the end. He's who brought me into this. There's really a lot of emotion when it comes to me and Caesar, and when I talk about this, because my dog's a real one right here, and if anybody around the fan base mistakes this guy for somebody who doesn't believe in doing things the right way, they're wrong about it, man. Because this is a good guy, man. This guy is always going to be loyal to the team, and that's what all that it's really about, you know. But it's an exciting episode. He has to be on Twitter. I saw that tweet. Akeem saw that tweet, and we said we got to do it, bro. We got to do it. So it's going to be a good one. We got Caesar, we got Akeem, Calypso, and since we got a lot to talk about, we're just gonna get right into it. I know we normally do around the MLS. Let's do around the MLS. Inter started off the match day bottom of the table and ended the match day bottom of the fucking table, as you guessed, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was a surprise to anybody as to how that happened. I think we're all used to giving up points at this point. But before we get into the big news, I just want to say I'm relieved. I know Caesar's relieved. You're relieved, and I'm gonna give the floor. I'm gonna give the floor right to Caesar. Let's hear what Caesar has to say. We're gonna start off with our goodbye to Phil Neville, our ideas of his tenure as Inter Miami head coach. So get ready. You know, there's not a lot of positivity coming through here, but go ahead, Caesar. There's gonna be some positive stuff coming after.
No, not necessarily. I'm gonna be honest with you. I had a lot of high hopes for Phil Neville. I remember in the beginning when him and Hendo came in. Um, I'm. How I came on Inter Miami podcast. I was saying, I'm like, well, I believe in this regime. I believe these are the people that we needed from the beginning. And I got really behind them, and I really thought like, oh, these are Beckham's people. You know, these people know the sport and they know what it takes to win. That's what I was like. All right, finally, you know what I'm saying? We don't have to like guess and wonder about McDonough and his crazy schemes. And I was like, finally, we have some stability.
And I don't think there's any question to that when it comes to the beginning of the regime, right? I think everybody in the fan base, including us, was open to Phil Neville. Was like, hey, you know what? He doesn't have a lot of experience. It does seem kind of nepotism-y, but let's give the guy a chance, right? We were coming off Diego Alonso. It was kind of like a Diego Alonso. I'm sorry for the gringo pronunciation. But there was a lot of reason to have hope in him, and we did give a lot of faith and hope to him over the first 2 years, I would think. But yeah, go ahead, Caesar. So
nothing like I mean like I was like, all right, like, this is a guy that like really understands the game. I didn't necessarily watch him play, but like everybody else, I was like, you know, a Manchester fan. They're like, oh, this is it. This guy knows what he's doing, and so I got really behind them, and I thought like, all right, this is the people that we needed for the team. And whatever, man. For a long time, you know, like I would hold on to his words. He speaks really well. For a moment, he sat down with some of the supporters and stuff, and he got to introduce himself, and like people really bought into what he was bringing in. And I think for a moment, he really did like grab a hold of the locker room. I think for what was missing from Inter Miami prior to Neville was that like that unity within the locker room, and I think he was able to really to like install like a culture of like, oh, what it is to be an Inter Miami, or what it is to rock the colors. And I think he really was like the first one to be able to establish something like that. I don't think Alonso was long enough to be able to like implement any of that. And I think that's a lot of things that I look into. I look into the culture. I look into like the love of the colors. You know, like I'm still a student of the sport. I always tell people I don't try to act like I know like everything that's going on out there. But you know what I do love? I do love the people, and I love bringing people together. And I thought Phil Neville was the right guy to really like harness that, to nurture it, to be able to help it grow, and
To add to that point for a second though, um, Diego Alonso, I don't think ever made that a priority. And I think that was evident as fans, as supporters, right? When we were mad that they wouldn't come and say what's up. They wouldn't come and pay respect.
well,
So one thing that Neville did tell us, right? You brought up when we talked to him. We all talked to him, I think in the beginning, he brought all the supporters together and we had a meeting in the Northwest Club. And he told everybody, he goes, when I was a little boy, my father always taught me that you always go and pay respect to the crowd, to the fans. And it's very important that you show respect to the people who are making the game happen. I don't think that happened with Diego Alonso. And I think overall, you're right. That was a positive step in Neville's regime. I agree.
absolutely, man. And I think that he was the first one to be able to like implement that. Like there's
That culture.
that culture. Like the thing that like everybody wants. Everybody wants like an identity. Everybody wants like, all right, Inter Miami. Like, where's our identity? And I think Neville was probably like the first one to be able to like really like bring everybody together behind the pink and black, behind the Herons. And I got really hyped about that, and so I really defended Neville, and I was really behind him. There's some people out there that are like, nah, he's not it. But I was like, nah, give him a chance.
There were doubters.
There were doubters, absolutely. But I'll tell you,
They ended up being right. And we look like the clowns. I'll be honest with you now.
Yeah, I guess, man. I mean, right? Like I
put too much faith into the guy. I'll tell you, I put way too much faith
I
into.
don't think there's anything wrong about like getting behind the coach, but you gotta call it what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like when it gets to a point, like it's hard to defend it.
I'll tell you this though. It's not about the culture, bro. It's about winning. Because when we came in, we thought he was gonna be able to win too.
Yeah.
The culture, you're right. We were like, okay, he's gonna switch the culture. It's great, but he has to win too.
That goes into us also. You know what I'm saying? Like our fan base, we don't play games. We know what we're looking at. We know what a good product is on the field. I mean, there could be other fan bases that are just happy to be there, but Inter Miami fans, we're beyond just being happy to be there. You know what I'm saying? We're there for a reason. We want to see a winning team. We want to see a winning culture, and I think that's like why our fan base is the way that we are. Like I mean, we rip each other apart whenever, but I mean, at the end of the day, we all love the pink and black. We're all getting behind the team. I mean, like, but going back to Neville, man, one I'll tell you a story. One thing that really stood out with me was we went to Chicago.
Yep.
Chicago was it 2001?
300 people. No, 2021. Yeah.
2021.
300 people.
Like 300 people out there, like 250, 300 people. We took them all out there, and it was crazy. It was
people crammed in hotel rooms.
So some of the homies, they had like 10 homies in a hotel room. We had a great time though. It was an awesome trip. We saw the Bean. We were wilding out. We get into the stadium.
We lose 1-0.
Oh, they put us
shamefully too.
Yeah, they killed us up there. But they put us up all the way at the top. We're at the top, and we're wilding out. And at the end of the game, they lost 1-0. And we were loud, but we're loud. You could tell, you could hear us from around the stadium. And they didn't come and like say what's up to us. They didn't like come and clap it out. And I got really frustrated. And I put out a tweet. About it, and some people reached out to me. They're like, Caesar, we hear you out. That's not right. That's not the type of culture we're trying to build. Someone told me, listen, expect a phone call. And I was like, all right, whatever, like, I mean, well, who's gonna tell me what at this point,
Yeah, who are you expecting a phone call from?
Like, who are you gonna tell me, bro? Like, we went, we spent money we don't have. We fill up hotel rooms that like 10 people in a room and stuff. And what are you gonna tell me? Around like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I get the phone call from a number I don't have saved, and I really don't pick up numbers I don't know. So I was like, you know what, bro? I'm expecting a call. Let me see what it is. Boom, I pick up, and some British accent comes through the phone, and I'm like, oh shit, it's Beckham.
I didn't know about that.
Nah, I'm giving you guys good stuff right here, bro.
True story.
Like, oh,
Well, no, I knew he called you. I just didn't know you thought it was Beckham.
Oh, yeah.
It's Beckham.
For the listeners that are listening on, this is the real story. We've considered prank calling the guy after losses.
Bernie be talking about.
Bro, he's dumb now. What are we gonna do?
I'm like, oh shit, it's Beckham. No, it's not Beckham. It's Neville. Neville's on the phone. He's like, hey Caesar, so Neville, I want to talk to you about what happened in Chicago, and I was able to have like a heart to heart to him. And like I was saying before, like I'm still a student of the game. I'm still learning the sport. Also, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like, oh, like I know everything or formations and stuff like that. And like I'm still learning myself. I love the people. I love the fans, and that's all I try to do. I try to bring people together. And he's like, Caesar, I want to hear you out. I want to hear what happened in Chicago. And I explained to him, like, listen, I'm like, you don't see that side of us. You don't see like us, collecting, like the little money that we have just to fly out to go watch you guys play. we're packing ourselves into hotel rooms, like 10 people in a room. We're just getting by just to go watch you guys play in another state. And I'm like, and you guys don't see that part, and you guys play like crap, and then you guys don't even like say what's up to us, and I'm like, that's not right. And he told me the whole story about his dad, how his dad told him like, oh, you always need to appreciate the fans, you always need to show love to the fans, the supporters are most important. And I'm like, listen, I'm like, that's all fine, but we need to build a culture, you know what I'm saying? And then I told him, if we win together, we win together. If we lose together, we lose together. But that's just the way it needs to be. There's a lot of people that that expect me to get this message across, and I need to make sure that you understand what we're saying. And I'm not shy for these things. I'm gonna be honest, but I never watched Neville play. I don't know who he is as a player. I know him as the Inter Miami coach. I can't sit here and pretend that like I know who he is or anything. So I don't talk to him like a fanboy. I talk to him like exactly how I need to get the message across, because I feel like as fans we need to get the message across, and a lot of people say,
I think you're one of the best people to do it, in the sense that you're one of the fans that's not gonna you're not gonna look at him through the lens of a superstar. You're gonna look at him at the lens of you're just the next coach.
Hey, dog, I never even saw Beckham play. I don't go. So whatever, I got the message across, and I was really appreciative of the phone call, and I bought into Neville even more after that. I was like, bro, the guy's the man, bro. Like, when have you ever heard of him calling a fan? Like, what is like?
Yeah, when have you ever heard of a coach calling a fan? Yeah,
you never heard of that. So I was like, bro, the guy's the man, bro, and I got really behind them. I tried to get all the guys behind them. But you know what? Like, going into the postseason last year, I started seeing it. I'm like, listen, I don't think this guy's it. I'm like, listen, the more we win, and if we get into the postseason, we're gonna have Neville for another year. And it happened. We went into the postseason, and it was great. And we had a terrible defeat again, like usual. Every time we go into the postseason, we had to lose like that. I don't understand. And boom, we got stuck with Neville again. And for a while, like, you felt like we're just trying to get sold Neville, like the idea of like getting behind Neville. And I couldn't, man. You can't. Like, when I really like gave up on it was the Miami FC game at the Open Cup. Like, that to me was like one of the most embarrassing things. Like, that Clásico right there to me is like so important. Like, I look for, like, me and Bernie, we look forward to that game like a holiday.
Yeah. And
like, for a lot of people, it's like, oh, it's just an Open Cup game, a Miami Clásico. But no, man. Like, for me, that's like, the Miami Clásico.
That's bragging rights for a whole ass year.
That's bragging rights
for a whole ass year.
Like, and like, I don't know if like the team gets that point. Like, dog, we need to win against Miami FC. To go to get PKs against Miami FC, that to me was embarrassing, bro. It was embarrassing. I couldn't hold it, and that was the moment that I was like, yo, that's it. I'm done with the Neville experiment. I'm done trying to defend them. Bernie, what's up with the light, though?
Focus on talking. I got you.
And at that point, I was like, you know what, we gotta get rid of the guy. So that's when we started with the whole Neville out. And I was really hoping that like by then the team was gonna be able to like catch on and like realize like, yo, we gotta get this guy out of here. Yeah, people were asking what's up with the light.
I got you. I'll figure it out. But pass it to Akeem for a little bit if you want.
I mean, Akeem, I don't know if you want to step in, you can step in. But
yeah. So I'll just give my quick thoughts.
You finished? Are you done?
Yeah, go ahead, say something.
So basically, I'll give my quick thoughts. Basically on how I felt Phil Neville coached. I kind of saw it in the comments already, but
from a Manchester United fan.
Yeah, and yes, full disclosure, I am a born and bred Manchester United fan. I think he was an excellent man manager, but not a great coach. If it were up to me, if I were king, he would be the GM of the team. And to me, that makes more sense because he was really good at managing people, like the whole situation with Higuain and how he always had a positive outlook on everything. It's just his coaching tactics let him down. And I've said this in previous episodes when I spoke with Bernie, a lot, when you weren't here, Caesar, but when Bernie was here, how his tactics just they're just not up to par. And not even just that, it's the main thing that I harped on is, if I can see the problems, if I, as a casual viewer, can see the problems with the team and how we're playing and how we can play better and how we can utilize our players better, then imagine what an actual MLS level coach with a whole coaching staff, with all the with
resources,
with not even just resources, with all the footage you can ask for from any game.
Yeah, resources, yeah.
He has the resources to look at everything. And all the analytics and all of that.
And sports scientists and
sports science
dietitians.
All this shit.
Inter Miami guys has like the next level of like in MLS, you don't see what Inter Miami has in their facility, in their coaching staff, in their training staff. We've literally put all the money we can put into, so a coach only has to worry about one thing.
Yeah.
Which is winning.
So as a person, as a manager of a team, and when I say manager, I don't mean in like the coaching sense. I mean like dealing with players day to day. I think he was great at that. He was great on the mic. He was good in press conferences. He was a good PR person, but he just wasn't.
100% agree.
After a while, the coaching skills just wasn't there, and a lot of people are gonna harp on the nepotism thing. I'd never really, I never some nice, dude. I'd never really cared too much about that. I was in the minority, and that's fine. But I'd never really cared too much about. Oh, he's back. He's just here because he's Beckham's friend. Like he's here because we were desperate and we needed a coach, and we got rid of Alonso. That's why he was here. Because we just needed to get rid of somebody. And the thing that I didn't want to happen, and I hope it doesn't happen. And I'm glad we have an interim coach. Hopefully he's the interim coach for the remainder of the season, or at least for the most of it, because I don't want the same thing to happen again where we get rid of a coach, we hire someone out of desperation, then we have to do another rebuild, and then he doesn't get the players he wants, he complains, and then the same thing happens again. This is what I did. That's exactly what I didn't want. So I hope we take our time now that he's officially finally gone, and now we can take our time to find the right coach, whether it be Tata Martino or whoever, someone who can actually come in and look at these players like, okay, I see potential in this guy. I see this guy. I see this guy. I can work with this. I know a system that can actually utilize the players that we have, like Yedlin and Kremashi and Luis or Sergio Ramos. I love it. He didn't get a red card this time. Congratulations, dude. And people like Escona, not even and even like players like the other guys that we have on the team. I'm glad
we have a good team.
We have a
good team on paper.
We have talented players.
I think that's one of the things that frustrated people the most. Like, why can't Neville bring out the best in these players? These players play for their national teams.
Yeah.
Why is he setting up Yedlin to make own goals?
I think on paper we have like right now on paper I think we have like a
7 seed, 8 seed team.
I was gonna say 5 or 6 place.
You give him 5 or 6. I'll give him 7 or 8. And that's the sad part, right? You know, I'll get into that in a second, right? When you got a team that on paper, whether it was last year or this year, is a really good team, like a team that had Gonzalo Higuain last year too, right? And you mentioned the Open Cup this year, but the Open Cup last year we got off with a miracle goal from a Calendar, and we got the Drake Calendar breakout performance. I don't know if you guys remember that, but if it wasn't for Drake Calendar, we lose that first game. Mm-hmm. So the Phil Neville experiment, you know, he didn't have Open Cup the first year. It was still part of the pandemic.
Yeah, we did.
Guys, the light is gonna be a little dim, and I'm sorry about that. But no. Good idea. But we're gonna work on it a little bit. But audio is good, so that's definitely good for now. But back into what I was saying is the roster's always been good. There's been no question about the roster, right? And you even got a piece like Pozuelo last year, which did so much. And I hate calling people out, man. But there's a lot of people talking about, oh man, look what Neville was able to do last year. I don't think that was Neville. I think that was Pozuelo, single-handedly, man. Yeah, you saw a performance.
You saw a complete difference as soon as he got on. He got onto the team, boom. That's it. We're doing well. I mean, everybody's like, oh, that's what we're missing as a position. Like, oh, we don't, and that's what people are saying today. Like, oh, we're still missing key players.
We are.
Like, no, but no, man. Like, you could tell. But I mean, as a regular sports fan, you don't you don't gotta be like a soccer guru. As a regular sports fan, you could tell, like, yo, this guy's not making any changes. How do you go into the halftime, come out, and not adjust?
Well, you saw it last year. Man. You saw it last year when he harped on the five in the back, and he harped on it for a really long time. You saw it this year when he harped on the 2 forwards. Remember, like he even had Campana injured, and he was like, "Nah, I'm still going with 2 forwards." It worked out great the first 3 games. Here's another thing, and here's my last thing about Neville, and we can move on to Javi Morales here, but this year started off great. In case anybody forgot, was it 3 in a row? Or was it 2 in a row?
Two. First 2.
2 in a row. It was 2 in a row, and we were first in the East. What a stark contrast, right? And he came out with the 2 forwards on the front. It worked. It worked the first 2 games against Philly Union, and it worked against Montreal, I believe, who was a top team last year. And the reason it worked, I think, was more of the element of surprise. A lot of teams weren't used to seeing Inter Miami come out with 2 forwards and 4 in the back and play kind of that style. But as soon as they figured it out, boy, did they figure it out. And what did we do to adjust? Right? We
That's
kept
the
on
thing,
with the
yeah.
empty possession. We've talked about it on this podcast over and over. They possess the ball. They make more passes. What does it lead to? Bro, I see so many Inter Miami players with green grass in front of them and absolutely no effort to run in front. And I can't believe that that's the player, unless it's the player saying, you know what, I want to get Phil Neville fired, which I'm not going to be that naive. I don't really think that's happening.
No, I don't
think that's happening. But I'll tell you what I do think is happening. I do think Phil Neville is going to bitch at them when they come to the locker room for doing something that he said they weren't supposed to do, like running forward instead of passing into an empty possession. So, here's my 2 cents to end the Phil Neville era. For anybody who thinks he was any sort of a decent or good coach, I challenge you to show me the results. Making the playoffs in a league where 7 or 8 teams make it and only 4 or 5 don't in a conference, that's not a huge accomplishment.
No, they're gonna tell you he was missing players. They're gonna tell you like, no.
Yeah, they're gonna tell you, oh, look what he was working with. Look what he was working with, dude. A lot of MLS teams have the complete open salary cap, and they're not spending as much as we're spending. And here's the next part. Okay, we talked about it on this podcast as well. The roster this year was not designed to win a championship. It definitely wasn't. But you got Joseph Martinez. You got Leonardo Campana. You got Nicolas Stefanelli. You got Franco Negri. You got Drake Callender, who's balling out of his mind. You got Sergei Kristoff. Dude, what more do you want to show me results? What more do you want, Inter Miami fans? How could you say that he was hampered? How could you say that he was handicapped? He had every resource in the world, not only players-wise, like Akeem said, training-wise, dietitian-wise, strategy-wise, film room-wise. To me, and I'll say this over and over again, I think I've said it on the pod, and this is my last thing I'm going to say about him. He was a lazy coach. He came in here to collect a nice fat check, live on the beach, take out his boat, but he was not here to actually coach us to win. He was here to collect another check and wait to see what else his name could get him next. And guess where he's going next? To the media.
You think Neville was out in the sandbar?
Dude, Neville.
You think that Neville was out at Nixon?
You know where Neville was? I'll tell you where Neville was. He was on Twitter. He was on Twitter.
That's absolutely true, bro.
He was on Twitter, bro. You
I mean, he's
on
always
Twitter
on
all
Twitter.
these months.
He's on Twitter a lot.
He's on Twitter a lot, but he wasn't on Twitter that much when he was active, and that's good. That's good. At least as a coach, show me that you're not out on social media.
Who's Neville's burner account?
Oh, Neville. I didn't see him traveling, bro. Somebody called that out. That's just true, bro.
He defends everybody. He's very. I don't want to say he's. Yeah, I don't want to say he's defensive, but he looks jerseys. Well, no, he got that because he's a big Vasilev fan. He loved Vasilev. That's why he bought that jersey.
I get it, but no player means more to me than the team. And I'm sorry, that's the way it should be. I get it. Vasilev, you're a huge fan of him. Dude, I'm a huge Miguel Cabrera fan. Do I own a Detroit Tigers Miguel Cabrera jersey?
We're homers.
Dude, it's not about being a homer. It's about being a fucking fan. It's fanaticism. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm sorry, if you don't start it for fanaticism, great. But, like, don't go and start a fucking account and, you know, talk about Inter, and you buy a Vasilev jersey. No, bro. Me vale verga, bro. Like, it's true, bro. Like, what do you mean to me? You're posting St. Louis jerseys? I can't take anything you say seriously.
Nah.
To me, you're a St. Louis fan.
Hey, listen, guys. If you're watching the podcast, share the link. Let's get people in here. If you have any questions, ask a question.
Yeah, bro. Open to it. But
also, thank you for the likes. Yeah, I saw the likes.
Guys,
thank you for the likes.
And honestly, I'm kind of down with the whole Phil Neville chat. I want to talk about what I'm excited for. I'm super fucking excited for Javi Morales. Absolutely. He's the guy I've wanted in charge for a long time, ever since he joined that staff. And I think that's always been his purpose, right? He was always the, in case of emergency, break open, because Jason Christ never really well, he won an MLS Cup. In, I think, 2016, Jason Christ did. But he had some pretty bad years in Orlando. He had some pretty bad years elsewhere. I know Javi Morales wasn't the most successful coach in FC Dallas, but he's from Miami. And that means a lot to me, right? It means a fucking lot to the guy who has a tattoo on his chest.
He's a local guy, and a lot of people have respect for him. I remember when he got on board with the team. I mean, a lot of people know him on the grassroots level.
They do.
Basically, and every level of football here in Miami and South Florida, someone knows Javi, and
he's a local guy.
He's a local guy. He's one of us. And I think that's why we got to get behind them, man. You know what I'm saying? We got to get this guy an opportunity. You know, I put a tweet out earlier today. we asked for Neville out, you know, and a lot of us got loud on the Twitter, a lot of us got loud on the social media. We brought out the banner. Um, you know, we went hard on it. I wish they didn't they didn't have to get to that. I wish they would have been able to like, dismiss them a little more like formally, but that's the nature of the sport. And Javi, one of us, he's a local guy. We gotta get behind him. We gotta get to the stadium on Saturday. We gotta show love to the team. Like as loud as we get to get somebody out, we gotta be as loud when we get somebody in. You know what I'm saying? And
louder, way louder.
We gotta be louder.
Dude, there's an alegría to me. There's like an excitement to this game, man.
It's a new era. You know what I'm saying?
It is.
And we gotta get behind it. I know that the club is absolutely looking for somebody else to really like lead the team into like a new era. But I think Javi's the guy to get us through that hump, to get us through this little rough patch that we're in right now. But I'm grateful, bro. I'm grateful for the moment that it's happening. I'm grateful it's happening now before the summer, before it really gets crucial. And who knows, man? Who knows that hopefully we get this new coach.
We're 3 points away or 4 points away from a playoff spot. We're not that far. 5 points away.
We're not in a terrible spot. We're in an even better spot for the Open Cup, and a lot of us, us real local guys, and we really like the Open Cup. I'm really about the Open Cup. I'm a big proponent on it. I wish the team would push, especially the Miami FC games. Let's push that Clásico more. I wish the MLS and MLS clubs would get behind the Open Cup a little bit more.
You're not alone on that one.
I don't think I'm alone. I think
if you look on Twitter, you are far from alone, my friend.
I think there's a lot of us real fans out there that we really enjoy that local sense of it. I mean,
it's cool. It's cool as fuck, dude. The Open Cup is awesome, man. It's an opportunity for a trophy for a club who's never won a trophy. Yeah.
Like if you would have told me oh, you're gonna go fly, I'm flying into
Atlanta, riding a rental car 2 hours into
I went to Alabama to go watch Inter Miami play. What the fuck?
Just real quick, there's a 5-point gap between us and 9th place.
See, so we're not even that far out, and I think that's why the team decided, let's move quickly on this, because I honestly didn't even expect them to.
I expected them to keep him for the whole year.
Yeah, me too. I did not expect that.
I
didn't expect to fire him. I didn't think it was gonna happen.
They had to have been talking about it.
Because I was saying, the whole thing about let's get ready for the next season. We're gonna fire him anyway, so that's why I expect. You know what? I don't want to say tank, because tank is implying that we're just losing to lose and we don't get draft picks out of it anyways. But I was like, you know what? It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Let's just start the search now. And then we're just not going to re-sign him because he was only on a 1-year extension anyways. But it seems like the bleeding got enough where they just have to rip the Band-Aid off and just fuck it. We just got to do it now. And I get it. I expect him, I told Bernie this. I don't know if I told you this, but I defended him for years, and I wanted him gone after that last Miami FC performance.
Yeah, man, that was the moment for me, man. I think that was the moment for a lot of us,
Yeah.
Dude, what? We're going to PKs against Miami FC?
Not even just that.
Don't do this to me, bro.
It wasn't just that.
That was worse than Game 6 with the Heat.
Yeah.
It was. No, bro. What are you talking about?
For me, the straw that brought the canvas back wasn't even the penalty. It wasn't the fact that we went to penalties. It was the fact that we went to Miami FC and we conceded in the first minute. That for me right there sealed it. Regardless of
walked into the stadium late.
Yeah, and I got there late. I got there late.
I'm walking in at 1-0. I hear the crowd, I'm like, what? I hear people walking in on their phone yo, they just scored. I'm like, no, they didn't.
Yeah.
I heard it outside the stadium. So that for me, that was it for me. That was it. Regardless of the result, I was like, he's got to go just on that alone. And we were playing our normal, just give them possession and all that, or hold possession, and they just got on a counterattack and they scored on us easy. So I thought that's when I felt that he should have been gone, but I didn't think he would get fired this soon.
Yeah, me neither. I didn't think it was gonna happen this soon. Yeah. I think part of it
was us, bro.
Yeah, part of it was that sign. Part of it had to be that sign.
I think that moment when they saw that was a tense game, bro. That was one we've been through a lot with Inter Miami, with the Hurricane game. We've had a lot of ups and downs. That game was one if you were there, you felt it. You could have cut it with a knife. You know what I'm saying? It was tense.
It was in the air.
It was in the air. It was real emotional.
You saw in Campana's body language too when he came off.
But everybody's body language, especially after the game where everybody was drained in.
Yeah, man.
And
it's emotionally draining. I don't think he had the players anymore. And going back to Javi Morales, I think this is a guy who can captivate the players.
Absolutely.
No,
I think he's already going in with like the respect of the players. They've seen what he's done with the academy. They've seen what he's done with like with like the second team and stuff. And why not? Why not? It's one of us. This is one of our guys. Like
all right. As a fan, I'll tell you this. As a fan, as a diehard guy from Miami, compare the two, right? I got a guy coming in from Manchester United. Like Caesar said, most of us don't even know who Phil Neville was. I know him by name. I know Neville was a wing back or a fullback for Manchester United, whatever. He didn't have much experience coaching, and I didn't get really that excited. I was like, okay, it's a different coach. That's great. I do think it's a little bit of nepotism, but I'm excited. I'm gonna give him a chance, and we gave him a chance for the most part. Give him 2.5 years or whatever it's been now. When I hear about a guy like Javi Morales coming in, I'm hyped. I'm fired, man. I'm fired up. This is a guy who grew up here in Miami, who understands Miami fans, who understands people from Miami. It's different, dude, and he's a cultural fit.
I think Javi's a real franchise guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's definitely a franchise guy.
I think you're gonna see him.
I made the comparison to Spoelstra. He's a Spoelstra guy. He's the type of guy you build up. You let him sit in the back behind a really good manager, a la Tata Martino.
You think he's gonna stick around like after like this little?
Yeah.
I don't see any reason for him not to, even if we put somebody above him.
That's the thing.
He's had opportunities elsewhere. People want him. He's had opportunities elsewhere. Being a Miami guy, he wants to be in Miami. He trusts the franchise. He knows that this is where he wants to be.
I mean, man, if Javi could really like, he buys into the love, and he buys into like at least what what the fans always wanted, like a real like culture behind the club,
a winning culture,
something that like we identify with. If he could buy into that love and the same passion that we have, and he could just like be that franchise guy, I see him being like that Spoelstra, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. He just needs Pat Riley to learn under a little bit, and he's gonna get his chance now. And I gave you the side as a fan. Let me give you the side as a player. You're talking about a guy who has MLS experience, and he's won the MLS if I'm not mistaken. I don't know much about his.
He won the MLS in 2009 with Real Salt Lake.
There you go. So he's won MLS Cup. He knows what it is. Phil Neville has accomplished so much with Manchester United. Play me the violin. We're not in the Premier League. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think
it's not Sir Alex Ferguson anymore, bro. Yeah, that was a whole ass era. We've said this, me and you and Akeem has been saying this too from the beginning. A lot of diehard fans is we need MLS experienced coaches. We need MLS experienced players. We need people who know what it takes to win in this league.
Absolutely.
And that's all the fans want, is to see winning. And I get we're associated with big names. We've always been associated with big names. We've never gotten that big promise yet. I think we're on the cusp of it. I think we are, and we're going to talk about it. But before we do, I want to hear what Akeem, anything else you have to say about Javi before we move on.
I think he's
DC and.
Well, there's something else I want to talk about before we get to DC, but I'll end with this. Yeah, I think he's a good. He's in a great position right now as an interim coach to change up, at least get ready for whatever our move is after Javi Morales or after the season. I think they should keep him for at least we're like halfway through the season because we're almost at Leagues Cup right now.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if you see him depart soon, especially if you know who's coming.
Yeah. So Leagues Cup starts in about 50-ish days. It starts like mid-July, I believe. It's like the 20.
The coach is gonna be.
I think he'll hold us over to Leagues Cup, and then around Leagues Cup, that's when you know who, and that's when by around that time, that's when we get that sorted out.
Leagues Cup is in 50 days, so about
month and a half. Yeah, it's like mid-July. Yeah. And remember the whole league stops. Both leagues stop to play Leagues Cup. There's no other games being played when Leagues Cup is being played.
MX or
yeah, both teams take a break for Leagues Cup.
We play, I believe, 2 or 3 home games.
We played 2 games, and I think one is away. I think the Atlanta one is away.
No, they're both home.
Oh, both okay. Oh yeah, and also the Mexican teams aren't hosting away games or home games. They're only doing away games. All the games are going to be in the U.S.
They're going to be in the U.S.
But I think, especially because he had an idea of the system that we were playing previously. No international either. We have an international break coming up soon. I know
coming up in 3 games. We have 2. We have a home game and 2 away games, and then an international.
Because Martinez got called up.
That's going to be the Nations League one.
Yeah,
that's the Nations League.
Yeah, and Martinez got called up yesterday, and I looked at the schedule, and there's a break on the week of the week of the 11th. There's no games that week, so that's when
What's CONMEBOL doing? There's a tournament for Conmebol for South America.
I
we
don't
can
remember. I
talk
don't really follow South America as much,
Me neither,
so I
as
wouldn't
much.
know. But I can find out later. So yeah, I think
Yeah.
he's like the best interim coach you can ask for because he knows the system, he knows how to win MLS, he knows the league, and he's a decent coach. He coached with the youth side, so he knows kind of how he's played with these young players before, so he knows the young players already. He's worked with them before, and he'll know how to Drake did get called up, and he knows how to work with the guys that we already have. So I think it's like the perfect fit. The thing I did wanted to talk about, a bit of a controversial thing.
Yo, we ought to get we'll get
Controversy.
Yes.
We'll get into that.
Chaos.
We'll talk about Drake at the end of the episode.
Chaos.
Thank you, Lucas. We definitely got to talk about Drake at the end of the episode. Really proud of him for a second call up. But yeah, go ahead. What do you want to say?
About the whole Harvey Neville thing, about the whole situation.
Yeah. Fuck
Let's
it. Let's
talk
talk about that, and then let's talk about the prospective coach. Fuck it. Let's talk about it. There's nothing wrong about talking.
Yeah,
about
not
it.
at all.
So,
Was that conversation?
It's I'm sorry. It's sad that it had to be Harvey, bro. It's sad that it had to be Harvey, and it's sad that that we got to again. But I feel like I said it, and I'll tell you this. I told the right people. This situation could have been handled a lot different if we just would have got in front of it sooner. If the right people would have been able to speak or have been able to said the right things, we could have at least calmed the fan base down. We could have at least taken a little bit of pressure off the pressure cooker, and it wouldn't have gotten to
But what do you say at that point? If we're losing 6 straight and losing all these games, what do you say to not have to happen?
Hey, listen, guys.
Yeah.
We're trying to make adjustments. I don't know,
But then what people want to say that's
come out and say
excuses.
something. But no, come out and say something. Come out and say something. Show face. I agree. I think the fan base every now and then, and it's not common for the GM to come and talk, for the owner to come out and talk. It really isn't common.
People get upset with this guy Franco. People get upset with Franco because he asks the hard questions. Bro, nobody's out there asking questions. No one's trying to take out some steam out of the pressure cooker. And I think it's sad, but that that Harvey had to get the end of that. But I think the fans are really frustrated as bro, we're down 0-1. How many minutes was left? 70 minutes?
No, it was at the very end of the game. It was at the very end.
But still,
So we're down. We're down 0-1. We need to score. And you bring on a defensive player. No, dog. No, that doesn't help. That doesn't help the case at all. And then there's the defensive player, and it has the same last name as the people that were calling out. No, dude. It was a recipe.
Yeah.
It was
A recipe for disaster.
A perfect storm. It was terrible. I'm sorry. It sucks that and I regret it. And I'm not gonna be here I wasn't booing, but I take accountability for everybody. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I am, the stands. It sucks. It sucks that we're booing.
I wasn't there, but I'll tell you, I would have booed. I don't give a fuck, and I'll tell you my face right here.
Booing,
I would have booed my ass off.
But I'm not gonna be here maybe we should have didn't boo. No. We were booing, and it sucks that Harvey had to get the end of it. He doesn't deserve it. He's at the beginning of his career. He's really good.
Really good.
I mean, no, well.
You did mention that you're not a student of the game.
But from my understanding, the way that Neville was trying to go about it was that he's gonna create a play because apparently he's he's really good at making crosses and we're gonna get a cross and we're gonna be able to score.
Yeah, but because he's made so many successful crosses all year.
So
I'm not with that.
Go ahead, Akeem. Give
So,
us your.
I'm gonna go.
Heard your real opinion on this. Though.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
And people are going to be kind of surprised at this opinion. I kind of disagree with a lot of what you said. I don't think he should have been booed at all, regardless of.
Okay.
And you know me, I like to play defense, and I like to, like you said, I look far in the future. I don't really care about the here and now. I'm thinking 10 years in the future when it comes to stuff like that, right? So I try to look at the big picture of things. I don't think booing Harvey Neville helps anybody. I don't think it did anything. It makes the fans look bad because it looks like they're just crying for no reason, which I don't agree with. I don't think the fans are crying for no reason, but it looks like that because he's coming onto the game in a game that's already dead, a game at the very last minute. And if you actually look at the formation that he actually finished with, he was playing 3 at the back and he put Neville in the center back position because he had put Robert Taylor up top and Snyder Borgelin on top. So yeah, who else did he have? Here were the other substitutes he didn't use: Nick Marsman, Jake LaCava, Noah Allen, Chris McVeigh.
Jake LaCava, striker. Right there, you need to go.
He already put in Robert Taylor and Snyder Borgelin.
I don't care.
So you're gonna have four.
Jake LaCava.
You're gonna have four strikers.
You need to go. You need to go.
Four strikers.
You need to go. You need to go. And listen.
Yeah.
You know how that game was.
Let me say something.
I do too. Yeah, of course I know.
Let me say one thing though. Let me say one thing. You brought up and said it makes the fan base look bad, right? Because if you're just tuning in and you're seeing it, you think that they're crying, right? But if you really know the game, you understand that they're booing not because his name is Neville. You understand they're booing because they're putting a defender in who's the coach's son when you need a goal.
But that's not. But when you hear,
it's that simple.
I mean, Akim's not wrong though. Akim's not wrong.
Akim's not wrong. But guess what? Those people who think that, I could care less about.
Oh yeah, no, man.
I get that,
us three, we stand shoulder to shoulder in the stands. You know what I'm saying? And the things that we experience, you're not gonna experience it on the Twitter.
Yeah,
I get that. I get the difference between the stands and the Twitter, right?
Yeah,
but
exactly. I know you do. I know you.
You show up to the stadium hours before the match, dude. You spend all of us spend our entire days and most of our existence supporting this team, and there's people out here criticizing us who maybe go to a game or two a year.
I get that. Yeah, no, and I think they should shut the hell up. But what I'm saying is, I'm looking for.
They can talk. Let them
yeah.
talk.
Well, you're right. But what I'm saying from what I'm seeing is that
take it with a grain of salt.
Like and also look at every time Harvey Neville has come in, he always comes in at the trash time. He always comes in. So it wasn't anything that he was doing different. Like, no, I'm you know what? I think I'm out. So let me.
He started him a few times.
Of course.
That's not true.
But he wasn't booed then. But he wasn't booed then.
But he was booed. But he was booed because of the body of work leading up to it. It was not because it was Harvey Neville. It was because Harvey Neville's been doing so bad this year. And you need to go, and you're really going to go to the guy who's produced nothing on offense. And I get you're saying
nobody's produced anything on offense. We're not scoring.
True.
True. And I said this. I forget. I said this. I said this in the Battered Heron podcast when they were on earlier. You know who should have got booed? Fucking Campana should have got booed. He should have got booed way more than Harvey Neville.
When he whipped that, when he whipped the penalty, when
he missed multiple shots. He should have got fucking booed.
What the fuck was that, bro?
So what I see people booing Harvey Neville because he happens to be the coach's son and he's going on in trash time. I don't see that because that's always been his role, just to come on as a defender in trash time. That's how his role is. But what's Campana's role? Campana's role is to fucking score goals. And he had one shot in the first half. It was his missed penalty, and he did dog shit for the rest of the game. He should have been fucking booed.
Him like sitting by himself and shit, like
fit.
Oh please, bro.
I don't want to hear it, Steve. Campana had a garbage game, and I have no problem calling him out.
Miami guy. Campana's a fake Miami guy. Miami. Yeah, because he did come over here, but he's a rich Ecuadorian kid. He's a rich Ecuadorian kid who came here as a transplant. I don't buy that. He's a Miami shit. And
no, he said he used to vacation here all the time.
Yeah, well, not vacation. No, he actually lived here for a little bit and shit. Like I went to school with kids like Campana, IB kids. They would come in from like different countries and shit. Their parents worked, and he's not a real Miami guy. But whatever. We could stay here all night talking about this subject because it's so polarizing. It's true. There's so many different sides to it, and you can't convince one side or the other that red is blue and that blue is red.
I will say this: they have a point. You know what I'm saying? They're not wrong.
I'll tell you why they are. But okay.
But yeah, I just don't think that
I think they're wrong. I think they're dead ass wrong, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why anybody who thinks booing Harvey Neville is wrong is wrong. And I'll tell you why they're wrong. I'll tell you exactly what. There's nothing you guys can argue to what I'm about to say here. He's not a grocery worker. We didn't go into a grocery shop and boo a 20-year-old kid. Yo, you fucking suck. You're the worst bagger of groceries. We didn't walk into a school and bag on a teacher. Yo, you're the worst fucking teacher. We bagged on a professional football player. If you play professional sports and you're scared of getting booed, get the fuck off my team right fucking now. No, I'm serious, dog. I'm serious. And if you're fucking... Don't boo the kid. Don't boo. He's not a fucking kid. He gets paid hard, cold cash to play soccer. So if he can't handle getting booed, I don't want to fucking hear it. I'm serious. I'm fucking serious, guys. You guys are treating him like he's a 12-year-old kid. He's a 20-year-old man who gets paid to play football. Don't give me the kid shit. Don't give me the fucking kid shit. I teach kids. I teach kids every fucking day. All right? That's not a kid. It's a grown-ass fucking man whose dad put him in a position he should have been anyway. All right? So don't fucking tell me, oh, the kid. He's not a kid. He's not. All right? And if you're a professional football player and you don't like to get booed, go buy groceries. Go fucking teach. And guess what? As a teacher and as a grocery bagger, you get booed every day. You know who you get booed by? Your principals, your coworkers. Yo, this is what you need to do as a teacher. This is what you need to do as a coworker. That's the fans telling him, this is what you need to do. And you need to get the fuck off of our field. And I'm sorry, bro.
Well, Neville came out. I think, well, listen, you can't say that the club doesn't listen to us. You can't say the club doesn't listen to us.
The club listens to us, for sure. And I'm happy about that. Super happy about that.
And I think they...
And at the end of the day, those boos might have been more than the flag. Might have been more than the flag, bro. Because the booze has gone off. That shit's gone the fuck off.
And I don't think, did it just come from the north side? I think it came from the rest of the
It came from
everybody. No, it probably started in the north side and it probably went around the whole stadium. But
yeah, of course.
So yeah, like I said, my retort to your excellent rant. And I think the rant was great, even though I do disagree with it.
You guys are always gonna disagree. This is the kid. The kid.
No, it has nothing to do with him being a kid. From my perspective, it has nothing to do with him being a kid, and it's exactly what welcome Bad Herons. You're in the chat right now. Like I said, boo him if he fucks up. Like I said, Campana deserved to get booed because he missed the penalty and he played like shit. Fucking boo Campana when he's coming off the pitch, just like how we booed
Campana's not the coach, the incompetent coach.
But he's still the guy that missed. Did Neville miss the penalty? Did Neville miss the penalty?
Failures of the club. He's not representative of the failures of the club.
I don't think
he is. How is he not? If he's missing a penalty and playing poorly, it's just like how we booed Higuain when he was playing bad. Remember when we booed him? He was playing bad, and he deserved it. And I was the first one to say he deserved that shit. I'm gonna agree with it. If he played like shit, and he deserved to get booed, and things happen, and he messed up, like how Yellen scoring own goals and all that shit. Yellen deserved to get booed when he scores an own goal. When Campana misses a penalty, he deserves to get booed for that too. But what did Neville do? He had the misfortune of being the coach's son, something he has no control over. If it's something he can do, if he fucks up, boo him. But if he's literally just coming on and his shirt just happens to say Neville on the back, if his shirt didn't say Neville and he was coming on in the 90th minute, nobody else would have booed him. But because he's Neville's son, he gets booed. Huh?
I think he learned better at this one.
Okay, so he gets booed, right? What does he do to improve that? What does he fix? Nothing, because that's nothing he can fix. There's nothing he can do.
Next time he gets on the pitch, you think he's gonna get booed?
Maybe, but I don't think he should get booed then either.
Bro, he's not gonna get booed, bro.
Maybe.
He's not gonna get booed because his dad's gone already.
Well, he shouldn't have got booed in the first place.
Okay.
Nah. Let's. I don't think it was necessarily like a Harvey Neville thing. I think it was just like the worst moment.
Then you should boo every single substitution that he makes.
You're absolutely right.
You absolutely right. You basically did.
But let's clear the smoke here. You're right. It is because it's his son, right? Now, why are we booing? Is because we want his dad out. He shares the same name.
Then boo him at the end of the game.
You can't boo. They did boo at the end of the game.
Good.
They did boo at the end of the
but
game.
Don't boo his son.
That's normal. They'll boo his son because his name is Neville.
That's garbage.
As long as your name is Neville, you're gonna represent your dad and you represent.
No, he's representing the club with the badge on his shirt. He's not representing his dad. You're saying he's a professional, right? You're saying he's a professional, right? But you're saying he's a professional.
He is.
He's representing the club. He's representing the club, not his daddy.
Akeem, what's on the back of his shirt?
His name. It's just his. It's his name, not his dad's name.
Not his surname, not his first name. His last name.
It's his name too.
No, but guess what? His dad gave him the name.
And what is? And did he ask for that name? Did he ask for that name?
Nobody asked for the parents.
No, but for sure he wouldn't be in her Miami if his dad wasn't working here. Right?
There you go.
To me, that's irrelevant.
It's out of their mind. That's irrelevant. That's not irrelevant.
To
It's
me, that
absolutely
is.
not irrelevant. It's absolutely not irrelevant because the fact that we're not
What?
is the fact that it's his son.
But
And
you
since it's
but
his
you want to
son,
say he's a
we can do
professional.
him.
But if you want to
He
say
is
he's
a
a professional, then
He's a
treat him like a
professional.
professional. When he fucks up, then boo him.
Then we boo him because that's how you treat professional athletes.
But he
when
didn't
they
do
suck.
anything to
And he
fuck up.
sucks. No, he sucks. He's fucking garbage.
Half our players
No,
are garbage.
No, they're not. No, they're not. They're not as bad as he is, dude. Noah Allen is as bad as him.
Did anybody boo? How many times did he boo Iman Mavika?
Mabika, not much.
Was Mavika great?
No,
Noah Allen was getting destroyed by Austin FC. How many times did he get booed? We love Noah Allen. I love Noah Allen. He lives on the street from me.
That's why I don't believe that. Like, okay, I don't think when Harvey touches the pitch again, I don't think he's gonna get booed. I think it was just the worst timing that they could have put him on. The tension in the stadium was thick. Everybody felt.
And that's what I'm saying. His dad put him in a bad position.
Listen, everybody left that stadium drained.
He's a player.
His dad didn't think that through. His dad could have put in Jake LaCava, like I said.
Yeah, his dad put him
in that position.
There's no reason for you to put on Jake LaCava with 3 strikers on. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Give me 5 strikers. If we're done by 1,
that's ridiculous.
Strikers. Give me 10 strikers, dog. I don't give a shit. We're losing.
The way we were playing doesn't help anything. You can put on 10 strikers. You wouldn't have scored.
You know what? You know what it does show me? That you're trying, though. It shows me you're trying. And
he put on 2 other strikers.
Well, put on 3 more.
He ended the game with 1 less defender because he had more attackers. He put on Edison.
It didn't work.
Because he's a bad coach, so boo the coach. Don't boo the kid.
We'll boo the kid that shares the name with the coach. How about that?
That's ridiculous to me. I think that's
not ridiculous. It makes sense. He's his dad. He's his son.
But he's also a professional.
Exactly.
So you don't want to hear that he's a kid, but he's also a professional.
But I think that's what the
up part, Akeem, is the fact that he's a professional who got the job because it's his dad, and that is nepotism, and that's why people don't like.
So do you want to treat him like a professional, or do you want to treat him like a kid?
I'm treating him like a professional when I boo him. I'm not treating him
for things that are out of his control.
What do you mean out of his control?
Him having the last name Neville is not in his control.
Dude, his dad put him in that position.
Exactly. He has no control over that. You just said it. His dad put him in that position.
Guess what? His dad should apologize.
That's fine too. But I still don't think he should have been booed.
For putting you in that position.
That's his dad. Then boo his dad.
I'm sorry.
Boo his dad.
Let me tell you something. Wait, time out. If Harvey Neville really took it that bad and that seriously, go find a new job.
I'm not saying he took it bad. I don't care how he took it.
Dude, if it was that classless, if it was that
No.
Go
I think you're
fucking do
misunderstanding
something
me.
else.
I think you're misunderstanding me. I'm not saying it was classist or anything like that. I'm just saying you're blaming someone for something that has nothing to do with them. That's what I think. It has nothing to do with being classless or being class or anything. I don't care about that because we say vulgar shit all the time at the stadium. So it has nothing to do with class. I'm just saying, why are you blaming someone for something that isn't their fault? If you're gonna blame someone, if you're gonna boost them, absolutely do it, but do it for something that has to do with them fucking up and not just with some random people.
I think I don't have necessarily the full agreement with how Bernie takes it. I don't necessarily think it was for Harvey. I was there. I felt it. I think it was just a lot of emotions. It was putting on a defender in that moment. His son, it was like, wow, I feel like it was just like the perfect storm. I don't think it was the best position. I mean, we haven't been in the best position for a while. You know what I'm saying? So I mean,
I get that, but keep in mind,
I've been saying from the beginning, it sucks that it had to end like this. You know, it could have been a lot. This transition, it could have been a lot easier.
I'll tell you this, and we'll finish with this. I guess I'm not gonna go on a rant again. I'm sorry, guys.
There you go.
But I understand that he didn't see the Neville outside. I understand Phil didn't see it, right?
I think he did see it.
Maybe he did. Maybe someone told him.
I doubt he saw it. He's busy watching the game.
I doubt it. I honestly really doubt he saw it.
He's not gonna look. Even looking in the north stands randomly.
While I'm coaching my middle school games, the world could be blowing up around me. I swear to God. Yeah. And you're just zoned in. That's the type of thing you do as a coach. I don't think he knew what was going on with the Neville outside, but I do think he could read the room and knew that his job was pretty much on the line with being last on the table. If you're last on the table and you're putting in your son, I don't get how you expect the fan base to act with class. You know, and you're right. Yeah, we're not a very classy fan base, and we do it because. But guess what?
Look at this animal. Look at this animal.
But we get credit for it. We get credit for being classless because guess what? A lot of other teams in the MLS, a lot of other supporters group, they put up with a lot of shit, and they're satisfied with mediocrity, and we're not.
Yeah, 100%.
And I don't want people to think that all of this was like, oh fuck you, Harvey Neville, you're a piece of shit, and we want to burn your house, dude. I'm not even gonna say it. I was gonna say something that I should never even say on this podcast.
Listen,
come talk to me if you want to know what I want to talk about. Come talk to me at the fucking at the tailgate tomorrow. I got some funny information for you when it regards to what we could do if we really. Yeah. There you go. Whatever. Point is this. It's it's just a bad decision by his dad. I'm sorry, if people think we're the worst thing in the world. But we're not the worst thing in the world.
What do you got on the agenda? Anybody got a question? Anybody got a question on the chat?
They got a bunch.
Got 20 people in the chat.
They wanted to know what happened in the meeting.
Yeah, what did happen in the meeting? If you can tell us.
You want to talk about? I wasn't there. Akeem wasn't there. I don't think Caesar's comfortable talking about it.
That's fine. Fair enough.
Caesar's not.
No, I mean,
it was a meeting.
It's already on Twitter. Yeah, there was a meeting. The club asked us to come in. The whole Neville situation. Going back, a lot of people don't like talking about that. Like. But listen, we have a relationship with the club, and a lot of people are like, oh, we're independent supporters, the ultras. You know what I'm saying? Listen, bro. If you want to do amazing things, bro, there needs to be a collaboration. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to dream big and be the best fan base, I mean, you got to work hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, a lot of everything we do is just us. We charge for membership. Everything is out of
everything's grassroots.
Everything's grassroots.
A lot of people put out there that like a lot of things we do is paid for by the club and organized by the club. It's not. Akeem knows that. Akeem puts in the work every single day.
You know what I'm saying? It's
every single game.
We fundraise. We try to find ways to make money. We sell merch. But we don't ask for anything for the club. You know what I'm saying? All we ask for the club is like platform to do what we want to do. You know what I'm saying? What we love to do, just allow us to like work in whatever area to make it happen. So whatever, they sat down with us, and I'm glad we're able to have this communication. I mean, for people that don't know, I was fortunate enough to meet Jorge Mas and his team, like at that time during the
early in the process,
early in City Hall when we're like in like 2000.
Pretty soon after he took over ownership or whatever.
Yeah,
it was not too long after.
I'm standing in line in City Hall trying to I'm in line to like go speak, and I notice I noticed somebody that's like keeps on writing on Twitter about the team, and I'm like, oh, I introduced myself, and I found out that she's like an assistant of Mas, and that's how I was able to become acquainted with them. Very organic. Nobody tried to coerce me. Nobody tried to pay me. I've never received a dollar from these people. They're genuine people. The Mas.
I love how you're actually addressing that.
Yeah, I mean, bro, you'll be talking shit on the Twitter. They're really good people, man. The Mas family is really known here in South Florida, especially in the Cuban community. His father's done a lot, so he's really well respected.
Is that I'll bring my mom over here?
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of people that have been touched like that by his family.
I'm here because of that family.
So that's why I was really able to
alive because my mom met my dad here.
That's how I was able to really I guess become cool with Mas, and then at that same time there's a group of maniacs getting together and forming Vice City. And I was like, hey, listen, there's a couple guys that want to meet you, and that's how we were able to get that relationship with the team. Nobody's paying us. There's no they didn't hire any Argentinians to come over here.
I think the team also recognized from the very beginning just the attitude towards supporting the team, right? They recognize the organization. They recognize the songs, the amount of people showing up. So when a lot of people question as to why you're in the position you're in, or the position as to why Vice City is in the position they're in, or why Siege is where they're at, or Southern Legion is, right? Because a lot of people come out of the woodwork and they're like, why can't I be a supporters group? Why can't I just come into the North Stand and start setting up flags? And it's like, well, you got to show some sort of dedication first, Yeah. And a lot of those groups that have shown the dedication were present at that meeting, and
so fast forward, we're able to have this relationship and this dialogue with the club. Another thing, man, there's I had mentioned it to Jorge. I said, Jorge, I wish you would have gotten in front of this a little bit sooner. I think you would have want to calm the fan base and wouldn't have gotten as ugly as should have. He did express that they weren't happy with the Harvey thing. And I don't blame him. Well, again, that's why I take the position that I take. That it's a shame that I had to be Harvey because he doesn't deserve it. But the team is very open with us. They explained that they weren't happy about that. Um, and nothing, man. They kind of explained like what should have been explained earlier. How they plan on proceeding in the future. The type of players they're thinking about getting. Um, and nothing. It was I'll tell you guys this. One of the questions that that I did ask, I was able to answer, like like the one thing that I think the fan base is kind of gets upset with is we have these players, they make these gambles on these players, and we get these players and they're raw, and they come here and they don't seem to pan out, and dude, like what's up with these players? Like these guys,
They go elsewhere and they
and
succeed.
then they go somewhere else and they succeed, and I think that's something that like the fan base kind of gets frustrated about. A perfect example, Lewis Morgan, where the guy's like, like he could have really been a franchise player. He could
Aranza,
Aranza, like there's a bunch of them.
Figal, Pires,
Pellegrini.
Pellegrini. Well,
It's-
Pellegrini, I don't know if he's
it's-
stand out so much
I
for New
think
York.
I think those are things that as
New York
all of
just
us,
isn't
like,
doing well at
fans,
all.
Yeah, they're not.
And
But there's other examples out there.
they acknowledge, what I'm saying, and they say these are gambles that they make, and
Last
but
night,
I,
Duper
but
did well.
I will tell you this, when I left the meeting is they're not leaving any stone unturned. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
If one thing I told them, I'm like, listen, you guys promised like world class soccer. You guys promised like world class like talents out here. And
You failed.
and yeah, it hasn't come through. But I'll tell you what, they're trying. They're doing everything they can in the means of the MLS. Like let's be real. Like this is not the easiest league to like get like the splash. You know what I'm saying? Like so they're working in their means. They're trying to like achieve what the fans really want. Like the identity of the club, and that's why they're really happy with the Javi move. They feel like that's like what the identity of the club is. And they want to use that to go to build. There's a new era. We're all aware of it. For the people that are just turning in, I've been saying it. We gotta go to the stadium on Saturday. We gotta get behind Javi Morales.
Yes, everybody
We're-
tomorrow
we're-
at the stadium. I don't care if you're in here in the
Everybody
chat,
should
go to the stadium.
Stop with the bullshit. Bring a change of clothes. If it rains, you know what I'm saying? If it rains, bring a change of clothes, bring a towel, bring whatever you gotta do. Come in swimsuit. We gotta get behind the club. We got annoying. We got pesado. We're over it. We gotta go pink and black. Pink and black. We gotta get behind it.
Rosé
Use
Negro.
the home team. Rosé Negro. Like all the bullshit. Put it aside. We gotta win. And I think the club is really gonna with the moves that they're trying to make. I think they're gonna put us in a really good position. Coming into like August and September, I think we're gonna make a real good push for the Open Cup. I think that's gonna be like the first real serious like hardware that we're gonna get. And it's gonna be a great achievement. You know what I'm saying? Especially like the everything that like we've been going through this year. We're gonna look back and we'll be like, shit, bro, all this adversity, and look what we're able to achieve. We're gonna walk away with the season with some hardware, and we're gonna look back at these moments and be like, fuck, I'm glad that we had to go through that, but now we're coming out. Watch, I'm telling everybody's in the chat, we're gonna walk out the season with some hardware. It's gonna be a great season. It started like shit, but you know what? We're gonna close it out. We're gonna do great. We gotta get behind the club. All the bullshit that we get on the Twitter, on the Facebook. I know it's just social media. We all have an opinion. We all want to say some things. But bro, fuck that shit, bro. Let's see each other in the stadium. When you see someone in the stadium and you don't recognize them, bro, say hi to them, bro. Let's build that community inside the stadium. You know what I'm saying? If you see someone there that like looks a little lost in the stadium, we try to help each other, bro. Reach out to each other. Show love to each other. You know what I'm saying?
If somebody's wearing pink and black, they're your brother and they're your sister.
Absolutely,
bro.
bro. And that's the culture that we want to build here in Miami. Like like that is home team. And Dry Pink needs to become a fortress. It needs to become a fortress. People need to be able to come like, damn, bro, we're going to Dry Pink. That's gonna be hard.
And
That's what I want people to say. I want when away fans come, they're gonna be like, fuck, those fans are loud. You know what I'm saying?
And,
And, I mean,
surprisingly, we've actually been almost selling out every game.
Yeah,
Like the
90%,
attendance has been
I don't
crazy
understand
good.
what's going on. Yeah, I don't know if they're. I
Bro,
don't think
people are hungry.
people talk about fabricating it, but we're in the stadium. It looks full. It looks.
No,
really
it
full.
was even the last game. It was like 15,000. The final attendance.
That's what it said. Did you think it was 15,000?
No, here's why I think it said that.
Is it almost full?
I think that counts.
Last game.
Yeah.
It was the official attendance was 50,000. But what the thing is, I think they count the tickets. I don't think they count bodies in the stadium.
Oh no, of course,
I think they count
100%.
the tickets.
Yeah, well, like what was sold.
Sometimes they do that. Yeah. I mean, my
they'll go
my
bodies
ticket-
in the stadium when
my-
there's
my-
bodies in the stadium.
I guess my ticket counted as that because mine didn't get scanned. You know, so-
Yeah, mine either. Because I was there for the
you
setup.
snuck in. Oh, you snuck in. I
No,
saw you, boy.
no, I wasn't there. No, here's what happened. I was there for the setup, and during the setup, they kicked us out because of the severe weather warning.
lightning.
So
okay.
before we can even set up, as soon as we got there, they're like, you know what? You guys got to go. They kicked us out of the stadium. That's when it started.
You hid in the bathroom, and then you came out when it started.
They kicked us out of the stadium completely, so we couldn't even stay in the stadium. They kicked everybody out completely, and everybody was waiting in their cars, and that's when I decided to go home.
So they wouldn't be liable.
That's the thing. Yeah, they kicked us out of the stadium. They wouldn't even let us stay in the stadium. They kicked us out of the stadium. They said, wait in your car. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I just went home.
I get you, dude. You don't live that far in the sense where it's like, you know what? I don't want to get a rainy game or whatever.
And I didn't know how, and the game was already delayed. I didn't know how long they were going to delay it. So I was like, you know what? I'll just go home. And by the time I got home, they were about to kick off.
Okay, so you didn't gamble.
Yeah, with the way Phil Neville has been coaching, I was like, fuck it, I don't want to come watch another loss. And also, I didn't think anybody was coming because I saw the Open Cup game and literally nobody was there. So I was like, I thought that was going to happen again, but I was pleasantly wrong because there was a lot of people there that stayed, that actually went to the game. And
It's
I'm
funny
glad.
how MLS games mean more to people like than US Open Cup games.
And it was a
I don't
fucking
know if
Wednesday
Tuesday-
too, and it's like
I don't
also
know if
Wednesday,
Tuesday- well, the Open Cup game was a Tuesday, so I don't know if that had.
but
anything
still
to do with
middle of the week.
Yeah. I want to talk about the gambling part for a little bit and the meeting, what you said about it. Just my 2 cents about it. I think we all have to understand that ownership is always going to talk to a fan base and try to, motivate them and tell them what they want to hear because they're the fan base, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I do want to disagree with you on one thing, Caesar. I do think they seem like they're getting everything done and they're really trying, but I don't think they're actually trying in the ways they need to be trying. I think they're trying in the sense of they're pursuing who, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're trying in the sense that they're pursuing not only just who, the big names.
Who?
Inter Miami's after big names.
Never heard of
Inter
them.
Miami's
No.
big names.
Big names.
Global brand.
Always-
Global brand.
What else is
Global brand.
You see it every day in the news. Big name associated with Inter Miami, right? And that's
Ben Sweat.
Ben Sweat, right? And we get Ben Sweat. But see, that's the thing. And then we get Ben Sweat. So are you really trying? And
the more
Hold on, where they cannot be named. Breck Shea, who scored
Yeah,
scored a goal earlier.
actually,
He scored a goal the other
Shea,
day.
well, that wasn't a professional goal. I don't know what's going on in that league.
It's like a 7-a-side league.
Yeah, it's a retiree thing. I think
Yeah.
it's him and Cameron are working on. But I guess we could talk about it at the end with Drake, Calendar, whatever. But,
Yes. So Collin.
Listen, I'm gonna say this. Super excited to see Ian Frey back. That's another player that was.
Oh, dude, yeah. Yeah, Ian's awesome, bro.
Show mad love to him, bro. He's gone through a lot, bro. Listen, Ian Frey, bro.
2 injuries, 2 ACL
I
injuries.
got mad love for the Ian Frey. He's gone through a lot. I'm glad to see him back. Like, dude, we gotta get behind the team, bro. You know what I'm saying?
He had a really nice stop last game. I was watching the game live. He had a really nice slide
He's moving
tackle,
up there, bro.
and it looked like it was almost a handball. Did you see that one, Akeem?
Yeah. No, he's good. He's a great defender.
He's really good.
I'm
That
glad
was a
he's
great
getting
slide tackle.
he's getting his confidence back because 2 ACLs is like a hard thing to come back.
Yeah,
One
man,
ACL is bad enough, but then he came back.
Mentally, too.
Mentally,
More than
that's
anything, mentally.
tough.
But I'll tell you what,
But he's playing with
the club
beats.
is behind them. The club is behind them.
Yeah, he's a local kid.
Every time Horder speaks about him, bro, he speaks really highly of him, and we gotta get behind him too, bro. I love that. I love he's a local kid. I love my local people, bro. I'm a homer, bro.
Yeah.
I love seeing people that grew up in the same environment as me, coming out. It's relatable. It gives you if he did, I could do it. It motivates the youth and it builds the sport down here. And
No love for Robinson Pecho Frio. That's true.
That dude's still on the shelf. I don't know what to do. He's been, I think, one of the biggest.
This is it for
busts.
me. This is the last year for him. I'll give him a chance every now and then, but I'm done with it.
I honestly sometimes
Lucha's
forget
been around
he's.
us the whole show. Hey, Lucha,
I love
I love
Lucha.
Lucha.
I love everybody out there.
Yeah, no,
Everybody
Lucha's
out
been
there,
in here.
everybody.
I've been watching the chat. Lucha's been in here for a while.
Oh look!
Are there any good
Robbie Glass legs.
chat? Anybody?
Well, listen.
Not really.
We got what we need to talk about next year, right? And it's the big names. We've been calling them he who shall not be named. Let's start with the coach. So the reason why nobody's been committal on Javi Morales, including the team, is because a lot of people are reporting that we're associated with Tata Martino. That's a coach a lot of people don't like.
Who says that?
really credible people. Will Forbes.
Someone wrote that?
Yeah, a lot of credible people on
I haven't
Twitter.
seen shit.
Yeah, you haven't seen it? Well, it's there. It's there. I'm not lying to you.
I will say this. I think from my understanding and like
He's got MLS experience.
what spoke,
He's won MLS Cup.
what certain people have been speaking about, everybody kind of agrees that we need someone with MLS experience.
He's got it.
I don't think there's anybody out there that's like, oh no, we need to get someone that doesn't understand that. No, we need someone that understands the league, what it takes to win in this league. You know what I'm saying? And I think the club understands that, and the fans understand that.
Yes, I said free Justin.
One thing,
I forgot he was in there.
Now he's sleeping.
I forgot he was in there.
Yes, Justin is Yesenia's son, by the way. Guys.
Yeah.
We're not trapping a minor. Her mom is his mom is in the other room. And this just, honestly, Caesar talked about it happening, and this just happened, so it's great. And we've been going a while, so we'll wrap it up soon. But what were you saying about Tata? He's got MLS experience.
Oh, I didn't say that. You guys are saying Tata. I'm not saying.
Yeah,
Tata.
you're not saying Tata. But you want someone
Tata.
with MLS experience, though, right?
We need someone with MLS experience.
Okay. Tata's Argentine too.
Who's
That's true.
understands.
So is all the
identity,
coaching staff.
you know?
Yeah, and he who shall not be named, which we'll name in a little bit, is also Argentine.
Wait, he is?
Yeah,
It's
I mean, he finally won something with his country, so I'm glad
Yeah,
glad he finally figured that out after how long?
And I guess we could get right into it there, bro. Is he's done everything he's need to do. So all these rumors about Barca, it's like, for what?
Bro,
For what? You've already done it.
listen, I don't get. How are we gonna get Messi here? We're going up against Saudi money. How are we gonna get Messi here?
Here's how. I got you. Here's a pitch.
Yeah, he'll tell you what.
Here's a pitch. Here's a
Rainbows
pitch.
and unicorns.
Tell him.
I got the pitch for you.
Rainbows and unicorns. It's Miami.
High school stadium.
No, this man. Remember the Beckham deal? Do you remember how that worked out?
He's from Argentina, of course.
We want Ronaldo. That's what they say in
No.
the chat.
The Beckham deal.
Go ahead.
But you remember, Caesar? You remember the Beckham deal? How that worked out, right?
Yeah. Revolution.
Ownership stake. They gave him
Let
ownership
it
stake.
own ownership stake, and he
The
can
Beckham
get
rule.
and they made the Beckham rule for him. He can be the next Beckham rule, and then you can sell it to him like, "Oh, you're coming to a place where we have the biggest market growth, right? Because it's a young sport. It's getting young people. And that's the important thing. And that's the problem that baseball has is all their fans are old as shit, and they're gonna die off soon, and then you have no audience. But now you have a young audience, a sport that has a very young fan base and a crazy market. You have 300 million people. That's 330 million new customers that you can get into the sport. Yeah, exactly. Remember, I always think about the business. I'm always thinking about the business when it comes to this. I'm a huge fan, but I see soccer for what it is. It is a fucking business. So you sell it to them like a business deal. You're coming to bring the sport to one of the biggest markets that isn't China, that hasn't had the game yet. Imagine if, and there was one of the parts of the deal was if Messi comes, then the best way I can describe it is ownership kind of pays into this contract. And when I say ownership, I mean all the teams, all the owners pay into this contract. And people were like, oh,
grow the league.
Because he's going to grow the league. People were like, why would they do that? Because every stadium he plays in, every stadium sold out. Every single stadium sold out.
Not only that, he's going to improve the quality of the sport. Every other team is going to have to improve their game, maybe add an extra DP spot. It's just going to grow their attendance.
So we are going to attract Messi with the power of friendship.
The power of business. The power of growing the sport. And getting that fucking bag.
When you talk about the power of business,
Can you imagine Messi playing in Birmingham?
Yeah, I said that.
I want to see Messi in Yankee Stadium.
Messi at Birmingham.
I want chaos. I want Messi in Yankee Stadium. I love it.
I'll tell you what, listen.
I want to make all the Eurostops cry.
Yeah, for sure. Because
fuck the Eurostops.
I am skeptical. I am skeptical too, dude. It's like Messi's gonna come play in fucking what is the name of the neighborhood?
Oakland Park,
or whatever the fuck, Commercial Boulevard.
Yeah.
I think he could see past that. And I think he can see past that because of what Akeem is saying. I think he has the opportunity to grow in the United States, which is such a huge market.
I'm a soccer imperialist.
Yeah, exactly.
He can become a Michael Jordan here.
I think that's the catch right there.
I want soccer everywhere. I want it everywhere.
I think that's the catch. I think he could
he could become a Derek Jeter.
He's already.
He could become that type of guy.
He's already that guy.
Around the world.
Can Messi?
Around the world, in the U.S., in the U.S. it's still Kobe Bryant. It's still, whoever.
It's the biggest market outside of China.
I do believe that the day that Messi plays football in the United States, football as we know it will not be the same. I think you're gonna see
exactly
crazy.
Miami Dolphins football.
I know. No, I think it's gonna the ripple effect of Messi coming is the magnitude is gonna be insane.
And I bet watch
I
this.
think you'll see it even like in the parks. Like you're gonna see like even Premier League soccer like just be different. Like,
and I bet that first game, if we do sign him, that first game is not gonna be at Drive Pink. It will be at the Hard Rock. Guarantee that. You can clip that. Because there's nowhere they're having Messi's first game in an Inter Miami jersey at a $19,000 stadium.
Right. So the question is, if Messi doesn't come, what's the plan B?
The plan B? I mean, for us or for Messi?
I don't think the team has a.
There's no plan B. There's Messi or nothing.
No plan B. Yeah.
You don't plan B Messi.
You don't plan B it. You go for it. And although I wouldn't do it, I would have thought like, let's build a winning team. Maybe you get him in his later years. This team has shown that they're headstrong in getting him. They gave up Pozuelo to get him. They gave up. Yeah, Pozuelo was an amazing player. They made a lot of sacrifices to try to make this Messi thing happen.
Now, question: how long do you think this whole Messi thing's gonna take?
A year or two. A year or two,
and after that,
then at that point he's done. How old is he now?
34.
So 35. How long is he gonna play in the MLS for? Just 2 years?
I think 1 or 2. He's 35 right now. So in 2 years, he's 37. Like, does anybody want a 37-year-old Messi?
A lot of people would.
37-year-old?
He will play in Argentina and crescendo his career.
I think he'll play.
He was gonna go back to River.
I think he'll play 1 or 2 years with us and then go to Argentina and finish his career.
No, I think he'll do the Higuain. I think he'll just stay in Miami, and I think that's why a lot of people.
No, he really wants to play in Argentina with old boys.
Oh, that'd be cool. I'd be down for that. I mean, I think it'd be really cool. But maybe his family can start getting adjusted to living in Miami. And that's the thing. They own what, 2 or 3 houses here, 4 houses, some crazy shit like that.
Yeah.
They own a lot of real estate down here.
Hey, welcome.
Yeah, Justin's up. And with that, I think we're pretty much getting to the end. Is there anything?
Yeah, we've been out for live for an hour and a half.
Let's close it out with this. Look, there's one thing I could say. Miami Freedom Park.
So that's the other thing.
I really get behind this because I live a couple blocks from it. That's the reason I was able to meet the ownership because of Miami Freedom Park and my
showed to a lot of those meetings.
My advocacy for that. And
LeBron's different, Juan. It's a different sport. It works differently. And Miami Freedom Park does have a roof. It does have a roof.
Yeah, they're trying to. It's gonna be roofed off, but
Is it? No, there's not guaranteed a roof.
From whatever, there's covering.
There's covering, but not over the field.
I mean, who cares about that?
Yeah, it's gonna be like a hard
lightning delays.
Lucas, I stopped waking up for Manchester United games like a year ago. I don't wake up for Man U games anymore. I'll watch the highlights later. Fuck it. I stopped waking up at 7 a.m. to watch those games. Fuck that.
So yeah, I think we're all really excited for Miami Freedom Park. I think you might see Messi last season Miami be the first season Miami Freedom Park. They might overlap that.
Nah, fuck a full roof. I don't want a full roof.
I think you're gonna be able to see. I think if
like a retractable.
If the gambles play out, if the cards are right, if the power of friendship is there, and
the power of friendship is
there,
and
business.
It's the power of Miami. It's the power of Miami.
And the ka-ching.
It's the power of palm trees, sunshine, and rainbows, man. It's the power of opening up your backyard and you have blue, aqua, glistening water and a boat waiting for you on a dock.
With an iguana in it.
An open day in Miami. Hopefully, bro, 2025, Miami Freedom Park, Messi there, beautiful, loud fans, everybody loving each other, peace and harmony on the Twitter.
Nah, chaos on Twitter. You know me. I start chaos. I start arguing with Orlando fans when I fucking smoke a joint.
They were going on his Amazon wish list.
You saw that, right?
Solano?
No, not even that. The Orlando fans were in my mentions, and
Orlando fans was in the mention. They're like, "Are you in charge of Vice City 1996? Or are you paying the $240 membership?"
They're upset.
They were mad that we have memberships at Vice City.
Why? I don't get it. Like
A lot of people are mad about
like,
that.
bro, like, you know, it's like, oh, back in my country, we deal drugs to make money. Like, we don't deal drugs, bro. Like, I gotta go to work tomorrow.
Yeah, and then so like to prove a point, he went on my Amazon wish list and he's like, "Oh, you have this thing for $25 on a wish list, but you can afford a
Like,
membership."
just buy it for me, bro.
I'm like, "What?"
I'm like, for me, asshole.
I'm like, one, that's stupid. Two, the reason why it was there because I was shopping and I forgot to take it off. But like, you're going through my Amazon wish list. Oh yeah, and they're talking about me and Solano.
Solano.
Yeah, I argue with him all the time. I've had him on the show. We argue constantly.
Yeah, he's been here.
Yeah, he's been on the show.
Yeah,
there's an episode where it's just him and Solana.
Yeah, just me and we just chatted out.
Just him
Yeah.
and Solana. It was hilarious.
Solano's funny.
He plays his
He's
role.
cool to me.
He's
He's
he's the jester that plays his role. I'm not. That's who he is.
He's good.
Everybody has a role to
He knows
play.
what he's doing.
I'll tell you something about that guy, Franco, bro. But Franco put his
He plays his role too. Everybody has a role to play.
Like I'm in suits. You got nice suits.
Oh my god.
Everybody's got a role to play. Even us. Everybody has a role to play.
Everybody has a role to play. Yeah, they do.
Absolutely.
They do. And you know what? The role we might have played was bad guy with the champ, but that's who we are. We're the bad guy. And guess what? The bad guy got what they wanted.
Yeah, man.
To close it out,
Battle the cage.
Drake Callender. Akeem, correct me if I'm wrong. He didn't make the Nations League roster.
It was
He made the Nations League training camp roster, right?
He made the training camp because they had 4 goalkeepers listed. So yes, it's the training camp for the roster.
They'll likely take 3. I'm hoping he'll be one of the 3 that goes into that Nations League.
I mean, if we're playing like some random island nation that even I haven't heard of, and I'm from the Caribbean, then
we're playing Mexico.
Oh shit! No,
we're playing Mexico in a semifinal of the Nations League. And again, we've had this conversation you and I have. I think it's very valuable for him to go to those camps, go to those stages, watch a guy like how can I forget our goalkeeper's name, bro? Matt Turner. Watch a guy like Matt Turner. Again, another guy like Sean Johnson that he already backed up. I think that's like super valuable learning experience. So I'll take it, and I want him to go to Mexico. And who else? Breck Shea. We also had Breck Shea with the little 7-on-7. That made big news when he made his goal and did the little his celebration. I was really happy. I was happy to see that.
Listen, everybody, to the stadium tomorrow. All right, no bullshit. If it rains, bring a change of clothes, bring your swim shorts. I don't care. Go to the stadium. We gotta be loud. We gotta get behind Javi. We gotta get behind the club. My dog Ian Frey. Let's go Javi. Let's go Inter Miami, dog. Let's get behind the club. You know what I'm saying? Miami sports right now, South Florida sports right now is on fire, bro. It's on fire. There's no reason for us to be down on Inter Miami, bro. Like it's just a new era. Let's get behind it, bro. Let's show love. It's not easy being an Inter Miami fan, bro. But you know what?
Bring your chanclas after the game.
Bring your chanclas. Bring your chanclas after the game.
I got my Crocs.
Change the socks. Do what you gotta do, bro. We gotta be out there. We gotta support the team. We gotta fill the stadium. You can talk all you want on Twitter. That's great.
Show up,
dog. Show up. That's all I care.
You want to argue? Come argue with me in person.
Absolutely.
And bring your chanclas, because if you're wrong, I will slap you.
Bring your chanclas.
Next time we'll throw chanclas on the field instead of booing. Next time.
Shit, we should actually do that.
We should bring
tradition.
No,
there's no tradition.
Pots and pans, bro. Pots and pans.
Pots and pans. That's our new tradition.
The pots and pans.
Like cheap rubber sandals.
We should bring the pots and pans.
Tuning in. Thank you for everybody tuning in.
Yeah, thank you guys. I think the energy's different. I think a lot of us are excited. The most excited we've been since the 2 games to win to start the season, and it's an exciting time to be an Inter Miami fan. A lot of people talk about coaching changes not being good. I love coaching changes, man.
Bring the chaos.
They bring the best out of a team, and they show you what's really going on. To be honest with you, because a lot of times you'll see like them win the first game after the new coach, and then they'll go back to sucking. Where you're like, maybe it wasn't really the coach's fault. Maybe it was the roster, right? But I don't expect to see that, man. I expect to see a more competent team for sure.
Yeah, man. Why not? Why not us? Why can't we go into the fall with a good team? Why can't we win the Open Cup? We could win the Open Cup this year. I said it. We're winning hardware.
We could definitely win
it. We're winning hardware this year. And we're gonna look back and be like, shit, bro, what a year. Watch.
You know, the Inter Miami that I saw Neville playing with, I don't think they can win hardware, but I do have hope with this new Inter Miami.
Guys.
Love you guys.
Love.
See you guys later. Thanks for joining.
See you tomorrow, everybody.
It's Saturday already, but fuck it. Good luck. Have fun.
Yeah, I'll see you